everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
Jessica, I've missed you so much.
I can't tell.
Fans have...
Yes, it was straight to business, Jessica. Get down over there. Go get me a drink.
Okay, that part's kind of true. But even the fans while we were going at the game were like, "Where's Jessica? This is some BS.
We know
Where's
Leah's
Jessica?"
happy now.
Oh, I can't wait to see Leah.
Okay, good. Well, welcome back, and you had a great trip.
It was really fun. I had a great time.
Oh, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Got to headline a casino.
Wow, now
I'm
you're
big
in the
time now.
business now. Yeah. Well, for you guys just joining us for the first time, what we do here at the Liars Club is we have two of our comedy pals come on and we ask them to tell two stories. One is the truth and one is a lie. And by the way, we will be asking questions sometimes during the story, and then we'll try to punch a hole into what we think might be the lie. Is that cool?
Yes, I give you
pretty
consent.
Okay. I've always wanted that from you. Anyway, will you please introduce our lovely guest?
I would love to. To my left, this gentleman is a comedic television and film director. He directed Poor White Trash, so that's why I'm really happy that my Mo Mullet is coming in.
Yes.
He also
good.
did Jamie Kennedy, which is his special on Washed, who's been on our show.
Yes, we love Jamie Kennedy.
I heard
We
that.
love
He
him.
was good.
And
Yeah.
you had such a wide, extensive resume. I didn't know what to pick, but some of my favorites that I saw were like Impractical Jokers, Mobile Home Disasters, Extreme Makeover Home Edition, and the new Tom Green Show.
Welcome to the show, Michael
Thank you.
Addis.
And Heckler, I think.
And Heckler, I saw that too. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, mobile home disasters. I just moved into a mobile
I
home.
know, that's why I was
Really?
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sean Penn. It's very cool to be
Oh,
in a mobile
yeah.
home.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, there you go. And our second guest, please.
Yes, this lovely lady right here. I hope she doesn't mind, but she has huge knockers. I was not expecting that.
Wow. You really can't hear those on the radio.
No, but
on the podcast.
Theater of the mind.
They're talking.
so bright and
They're talking to you.
I was like, I can't keep looking at him. I have to stop. But she had her latest solo show, Madman, was one of the best reviewed shows at the Edinburgh Festival in 2015, and she'll be back there this year. She's been on Russell Howard's Stand Up Central, The Apprentice, Drunk History, The Office, and the list goes on. I also saw you on one of the panel shows that are big in England, right?
Mock the Week, yeah.
Yeah. And I would love that you were like, and I can't say this right, so forgive me, but mediocre. I said it right.
What?
That she was
Did I?
mediocre.
You said
Are
she
you
was
said she-
mediocre?
I don't think you said that right. Say that you didn't say that right.
I feel like there's more. I'm hoping there's more.
No, I usually say like mediocre.
Mediocre.
So I said it right. Anyway.
Don't
Is
know
that
what's
a
going-
dish?
Mediocre sounds like a spice.
Yeah. Or it sounds like a southern dish.
Sounds like a very bland
Like
spice.
a very,
Right, but
and
she
not a
said,
good southern dish.
anyway, mid-level male comics need to move out of the way because we got really funny women out there that need to be in the limelight. And I love that. This is Tiff Stevenson.
Welcome to the show, Tiff Stevenson.
Thanks. I'll clarify it by saying I was talking about meritocracy, and I said there can't be a meritocracy until you level the playing field.
I don't know.
And so all it means is that meritocracy means the best person for the job should get the job. So the funniest
Right.
person, which is always the argument
It's
when
very
it comes
subjective,
to
though.
right. Yeah, exactly. But what I was saying was
You are blowing Jessica's mind right now. You are melting it before we even start.
equality of opportunity, I guess, is what I'm saying. So opportunities for
right.
to be able to for gender
Rather than outcome. Equality of
Rather-
outcome.
Yeah, not equality of equality of opportunity. So everyone gets the chance to succeed or fail at an equal level, which isn't really happening. And so there was a big furor over it, and I was like, it just means mediocre, like kind of white male comics will not flourish, but brilliant men will continue to be brilliant and do well because they're brilliant. We're just saying make some space for some women to come in. So
Hell yeah.
so I do a few of the TV shows and stuff at home, but they had to put a rule in place because they were so bad at booking women. And it's different here. It's nowhere near as bad here. Like at home on television, it really was like, can we stop having like 7 white dudes who are all the same age who all went to the same school?
Right.
That would
with the
be-
same
that
haircut.
would just be-
yes.
yeah.
I'm going to do what I should be doing, which is shut up and nod my head now. This is what people want.
Well, anyway, welcome to the show, and please forgive Jessica if she said that word wrong, and just for you guys,
Pop your
She
boobs
said-
right away. That was probably not the
said
smartest.
that right.
But
no,
That's okay. I'll take it. If you're a boobs gal, you're a boobs gal.
Hey,
are we gonna do?
I'm looking at him, but I do want to say one thing. Where else in comedy will you be forced to drink champagne out of the bottle than on the Liars Club? All right, well, let's jump right to it. By the way, this is our on-air producer, Austin Walker. And
Hi,
if you
Austin.
guys are playing along at home, please leave your thoughts and comments on the reply section on YouTube. If you guys are listening to us on iTunes or Podbean or wherever you get your podcast needs, we go live here at the Comedy Store Mondays at 4:30-ish and Fridays at 8:30-ish. And come on over to the Comedy Store YouTube page and you can play along. Michael, let's start with your story.
Oh, I thought it was me ladies first.
No, it's your turn.
Okay, fine. All right, my first story. How do I begin this? Well, I had a girl that I was dating.
Nope.
And she doesn't buy it. I had a girl I was dating, but it was like friends that can you curse on here? Can you
Yeah,
say
hell
fuck?
Say whatever you want.
Okay, so it was like friends that fuck, and she was a big drinker, and we would party and like that. So it wasn't like my girlfriend. It was just like we'd have fun. And so she kept on like asking me for a dick pic, and I'd be like, "Why? Like it's not
You've already
that
seen it.
spectacular." And it's not like a supermodel. That
You
take
actually
pictures of.
texted that back to her, like,
No, I would tell
"Hi,
her,
it's
she
not
would
that
s-
spectacular." Did you actually do that?
Did I say that?
Yeah, did you?
She knows it's not spectacular. What do you mean?
No, if she wants a dick pic, she doesn't think that.
Is that wrong for me not to? No, I think it's a bad idea to send a dick pic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So-
but she's already seen it. Like that's.
I don't know what you'd have to ask her. I don't know why she wanted one, but she wanted one. So I was like, no. That seems not a professional thing to do. So I did not send it. I did not send her a dick pic.
So you must not be Republican.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Why do Republicans send a lot of dick pics?
I'm not. Ask her. I shouldn't have said.
Why
it.
would
I
she
don't
know?
fuck Republicans. What do you want from me?
But they may send you dick pics anyway.
I have never sent a dick pic, just to let you know.
There you
Never
go.
once.
No.
I've only sent one dick pic, and this is the story of that dick pic. So, one morning I got up and it was like, maybe this is the day to send it. So I took a picture, and it was difficult because you have to get the lighting right, and I have big hands, so that makes it a problem. And so,
Yeah, we've had that one.
well, look, they're kind of freakishly. The thumb is big. So anyway, theater of the mind.
You don't want to send a dick pic and everyone's like, "Damn, look at that thumb."
It's bigger than the main attraction. So I took a picture, sent it, and then she didn't say anything, didn't comment. But it's like texting. Maybe she was feeding the cat or something. So I was like, that's kind of rude. Like she should say, "Ooh, nice," or a compliment or something. So I went about my business, and I was thinking about, I had gone on a date the night before with this like nice Jewish girl. Not that matters, but she was a nice girl, and we got along great. And it was kind of like, I'd gotten divorced a few years before, and I was like, maybe this is the one. I was kind of feeling like it was special, but it was our first date.
It's
and
special because you. Hold on, no. This is a new
I really
girl.
liked her. This
is a
other
new
girl.
Okay.
So I'm a slut. I was dating, like, theoretically. But I wasn't sleeping with this new girl. It was just I went on a date with her.
Right.
But it was like, it was a special date. Like, I really liked her. And so I was like thinking both about this girl and about the girl that I sent the dick pic to. And I went back to look at the text, and she hadn't responded. But also my dick was not in the little box that that I'd sent it. So yeah, this is going. So I look at the other girl that I'd gone on the first date with.
You have a huge thumb.
I do have a big thumb.
Jesus.
And that's why you sent it to the wrong place,
I
right?
said, yeah, exactly. This is not a good time to have a big thumb. And so I did. I sent it to the nice girl that I had gone.
And you're
on.
blaming it on the big thumb.
No, I'm blaming it. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. So I sent it to her, and she didn't respond, but I could kind of feel the anger through the phone, And I was like,
because even if you tell the truth, she's gonna be like, "Oh, so you're dating somebody else and sending."
I know,
pics to them?
yeah. There's no winning this.
Yeah.
Actually, I figured out a way to win. I did say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was meant for a friend, and I didn't mean to," and delete it. Nothing worked. Nothing worked.
that's not gonna work.
No, nothing worked. But I did actually think of like an hour later what I should have said, which was like, "Hey, we're shooting a scene with a fake dick. Does this look real to you?" That might have.
And she'd have been, what about the fake massive thumb holding it at the face?
Look, it's my thumb holding the fake dick, the plastic dick.
Wow.
Anyway, so it's horrible. So the story gets worse.
Oh no.
So she didn't want to have anything to do with me, and I wasn't in the mood to send it to
But
the
she's
real
stalking
girl.
your thumb.
She's really interested in my thumb. So then, a month later, I had a meeting with BBC. In America, though, not the real BBC. And so I met with them. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned that in the story.
I want to know now.
Oh, yeah.
This is double great. We've already got people who've got in trouble for sex stuff at the BBC, like
I bet.
harassment and everything
For
else.
big-
So you
having
can
big thumbs?
just well, sending the dick around the place. So you can just.
It's
add
okay in
yourself-
England?
No,
Well, BBC just
No, it's not okay there
It
either.
already sounds like an acronym for like big beautiful cock or something.
Right? Yeah.
Ooh.
Big
Is
beautiful
it?
cock America. It is. It should be.
So, so I go to the BBC, the Beeb, do you call it?
Yeah. We
Okay.
call it the beep.
I don't call it that, but and apparently it's like an open office thing where there's like a giant window, and when you walk into the office, you see like everybody that works there. And so as I was walking into my very, very important meeting, I went, that girl that I sent the dick pic to accidentally, she does work at the BBC. She said that. And I was like, I hope she's not here. And obviously, I don't have a meeting with her. I know who I had a meeting with. And so I looked out at the sea of people, and believe it or not, like I caught her eye. Like I saw she was there. And I was like, oh, God, no. And so I went in the meeting, and I was like sweating like a crack addict, and just like I blew the meeting. I was terrible because I was so nervous about like, oh my God, this girl can see me right now, and she's looking at me and saying, that's the guy that sent the dick pic to me. And so I blew the meeting. And then
I hate to break it to you, but you're not her first dick pic.
Really?
Oh no.
You think she gets a lot?
Oh, I'm
she
sure
seemed
she's
really
had a few
upset
in her
about
day.
it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I should have said to her, this can't be your first
Yeah,
dick
but
pic.
if
What's
you
the big
go-
deal?
If you go out with a guy,
Never seen
Shit,
one?
would that have been a good line? Just,
No.
Hey, this happens all the time. Shut up.
hey Todd, can you take the headphones down a tick? Thank you, Todd. Yeah, they're pretty
Just
loud.
my voice.
No, it's everybody's voice.
I'm speaking from my diaphragm.
So,
I'm not even wearing one.
But I think if you're going on a date with a person, the first date, and there's sparks, and if you're feeling that, it's most likely she's feeling that, and then to get a dick pic.
Right
Like, did you
away?
kiss her on the date,
It was like an end of the night kiss.
like
yeah.
on the cheek, or just
No,
quickly
just
on
like
the
a quick
lips?
kiss,
Yeah, yeah.
No tongue?
Slip her the tongue.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Sliver of the
Okay.
thumb.
I generally use my thumb instead of my tongue. Yeah.
Is
Wait,
is it a kiss if you don't slip the tongue? That's like a peck on the cheek.
Like you just.
Well,
kiss
it's
like
on
that.
the
It's like
lips.
kissing a relative if it's not
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but that's.
Well,
like
if she was Jewish,
yeah.
I am. Maybe we are related. I don't know. What was your point, though?
Well, because I'm just saying that if I was a girl and I went on a date, and
You
it
are
was
a girl.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it was lovely, and you gave me a sweet kiss on the lips, just quickly, like good night, and then I was like kind of looking forward, and then all of a sudden I get this angry dick pic with a large ass thumb. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yes, it wasn't
Right?
good.
Wouldn't you, Tiff? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I like the fact that you said angry because all penises,
It was sort of angry,
Well,
yeah.
all penises look angry.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
I
They-
drew a smiley face on it, so it
All
didn't
right.
seem as angry. But anyway, so I'm in the Beeb and tank the meeting, come out, and then all of a sudden I hear Mr. Addis, and it's like, oh, what? And people don't comment that. So this guy runs up to me with an envelope, and he hands me the envelope, and I'm like, oh God. So I open the envelope, and inside is a photocopy. Do people say that anymore? Photocopy of my dick, and with in black and white. Looks better in color, but black and
Yeah.
white. And so with a little Post-it that said, "Now you know how I feel," which didn't make any sense because
Oh, bravo to her! I
She
love
won?
it. I love it.
so
Well, I think she meant
Yeah.
just a piece of unsolicited anything. So maybe
Right.
that's what she
Yeah.
means by now you know how I feel.
yeah, but
Didn't expect
seeing
this.
my own dick is not as shocking as seeing somebody
yeah, you
else's.
didn't expect it.
And in
No,
front
I
of
didn't.
everybody, and the guy.
No, but I didn't go. Look at this, my
No,
dick.
no, I know, but just that people were like, "Wow, I wonder what."
Yeah,
was
but
in
you
that
don't know if
envelope."
she received your dick at work.
Yeah.
You know, what if she's in a
Oh no! It was early in the morning. It wasn't. I get up early. It wasn't. I don't think it was. She was at work when I.
How early was the dick pic sent?
This is a while ago. I'm guessing it was like 8.
8 o'clock
That's
in
not-
the morning, and you get a dick
That's when it looks the
pic?
best.
Well, that's when it's the angriest. I guess, Felicia, you've never heard of morning wood, so whatever.
Yeah.
I heard,
You
but
can never match
Yeah,
that
but
the
you
rest
could-
of the day.
See?
But you can
Austin
take a
knows.
photo of it then and wait till later.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't.
Wants
That's a
to
good
wake
point.
up and have it slap her in the face.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
that's what that is. That's
that
the
was your
virtual
What?
equivalent of
You
like.
just turned this into assault. It was a mistake, and I didn't slap anybody in the face.
No.
Anyway, so it ended terribly. That was my first dick pic and my last. I will never send one again. And
Yeah, because you're not good at it.
No, I'm not. Agreed. It's not a skill set. I will not be putting that on a resume for sure.
Just send a picture of your thumb and say,
Yeah.
judge
It
by
may,
this.
it may get a better response.
Yeah. If you could just get your dick to hold your thumb in focus, it would be awesome. That's a first grade
Photographer.
story. First grade story. I love it. I love it.
And that's it.
I love it. All right. Any questions right out of the box? Anybody on YouTube saying anything?
our old friend Melody Martinez is back.
Oh, hello.
oh,
Hello,
Melody.
And Melody says that this guy definitely sends unsolicited dick pics.
No, that's not true. I never sent one before.
So Melody said Republican Larry David is definitely lying.
Thank you for that.
Melody Martinez thinks I'm a Republican?
Yeah.
Not
No.
that your
I'm more
opponent sends
offended by
dick
that.
And
No.
it also added that was a rookie mistake, including your face in the picture.
Well, it was a.
Did you
no,
put
my
your
face
face in the
wasn't
pic-
in the picture.
Oh,
Who
that-
said that?
Maybe that was
okay.
My
my son.
thumb
Your
Yeah,
thumb,
well,
yeah.
is different.
But that
It's very. It's
that
almost
is
like
a-
a face. It's very recognizable.
a very
Actually-
specific thumb.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. I did try to hide the thumb behind the dick.
Behind the shaft. I gotcha.
Oh.
The shaft, sorry.
Now you just made that story adorable.
I don't think Melody Martinez thinks it's adorable.
All right. Oh, awesome. Well, there you go.
Melody might actually be a dude because said he's playing from his wife's account. So
Okay.
we're just gonna keep calling him Melody. It's a lot
Is that
funnier.
his really name? That's the person's
That's
name.
his wife's name is Melody, so we're just gonna keep
Oh,
calling
I
him
see.
Melody.
Oh, so it's a guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we don't know. Who knows?
No, I hear you. Sometimes I go on our Liars Club YouTube, and because we are logged in to put stuff up, and I see Jessica, what Jessica likes to watch on YouTube.
Really into raccoon videos.
They're really cute.
And
cute.
like pumas in Russian apartments.
There's this
She's
Russian
really into
couple
the.
that keeps a puma in their studio apartment.
Sorry, Puma.
Is it called Puma?
Puma.
Really?
Puma?
I don't know. It sounds like Puma. And that
Yeah.
has the word poo in it. So I'm less like. I'm less
Wait, is this an English thing or just you?
English is. No, Puma. I think we'd say Puma.
We
Unless
call
I
it
was
Puma.
northern, I'd say Puma. Puma.
Yeah, but then Puma sounds like pubes.
Yeah, true.
yeah, that's
true.
Yeah.
What about
Puma.
Cougar?
Cougar. Yeah. Well,
Cougar.
isn't
You said that?
a cougar the same as a puma?
What about
Right.
Jaguar?
Jaguar.
Well, they make it. The car.
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. That sounds so
Jaguar.
sexy
That's
when you
something,
say
ain't
that.
it? Yeah.
All right, let's move on to your story.
Okay. Josh Homme tried to kill me.
Whoa! Out the gate. Okay.
Wow.
Out the
that's a good
gate.
story.
I say I don't think it was intentionally, but I basically got alcohol poisoning after he just sort of force fed me about 15 mezcals in a nightclub.
What is a mezcal?
It's like tequila, but it's stronger. I don't know what part of the cactus it comes from. I don't know whether like tequila comes from one part and mezcal comes from like the base where it's real I don't know. It's like very strong, smoky tequila.
Oh wow.
So we were at a bar in Paris, and I wasn't with him at the bar. I met him at the bar because he was in Paris for his brother's big gay wedding in Paris. He has a brother, and he was getting married in Paris, and there was a few of us over doing a show, Gets Better, in David Lynch's nightclub.
Wow.
He has a nightclub in Paris.
He has a nightclub in Paris.
What's it called?
Silencio.
Oh, wow.
Silent?
Yeah, it's like the last. It's like the
I'm
last.
so proud of you that you put that together.
Isn't it like the last word in Mulholland Drive or something? I don't know. I was just on Mulholland Drive the other day. It's the first time I'd gone down it. But yeah, so it's called Silencio, and it has like his pictures in there, and it smells of poppers. That was all I really remember.
What do poppers smell like?
chemical.
Yeah, like it's what you it's what you call, what do you call it here? Amyl
call it
nitrate.
poppers.
Oh, you call
Yeah.
it poppers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that you sniff.
Like
so you
anal
go,
nitrate.
Anal nitrate.
It's
Did
Or
you say?
what are they called?
Amyl
Amyl.
nitrate.
Anal nitrate.
Anal nitrate's that band you like.
And it's the thing you sniff where you go, and you go,
It's a
ooh,
gay club,
ow,
a gay nightclub
ow.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought it was to loosen up the booty.
it is.
Oh.
Okay.
But it
Ah.
also gives you like an intense head rush, which is great for like 5 seconds and then 2 minutes of pain afterwards.
Ugh.
You just get a really bad headache.
Oh, I did it a couple times in my 20s, and I never got the headache.
Oh, really?
Or the anal.
Yeah, or I didn't get the anal either, but I liked it.
But you're pretty loose. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I ended up doing a show in this nightclub in Paris. So they flew some comedians over. It was like 5 years ago or something, or 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago? Yeah, and they flew us over to do shows, which was really weird because the audience was mainly French, so they didn't really. They have a different sense of humor. It's kind of physical and clowny, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing,
I've been watching that Gad guy.
Oh yeah.
Gad, what's his name? Gad Elmar? Elmar?
God. It's God. I think.
God.
Pronounced God.
Oh,
G-A-D,
God.
Gad.
It sounds
Well,
like
it's
someone
pronounced
really
God.
sexy saying God. God. It sounds like Samantha from Sex and the City.
Wow, you're good at that. You ever done any like
Voice
sex-
work?
Yeah.
Sex tape. Not that kind of voice work. Not that kind of voice work. I don't do dirty talk. If I do dirty talk in bed, it would be like I haven't put the bins out. That kind of dirty talk. So we did a show. It was me and a couple of other comics, and it wasn't the greatest. I mean, it was kind of just weird. Like they're looking at me like what is this clown doing? This clown's not funny. So we did a show, and then Josh Homme ended up. I saw him at the bar, and he was wearing like a leopard print shirt, and he had tattoos on his knuckles, and I was like, what are the chances that Josh Homme, or as they would call him in France, Josh Man. I'm not sure if it's Josh Homme or Josh Homme. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Anyway, I was like, what's the chances that he's here? You know. And it was him, and somehow we got talking. Oh, that's right. Someone who was with him knew a friend of a friend back in Scotland, friend of my other half's, and we just got talking. This other guy had he was wearing a bandana, and I just kept saying to him, "You're not
How
in
was
the."
he wearing it?
He was wearing it around his head, and I kept saying, "You're not in the E Street Band. I don't understand what's happening."
Was
So he
it
has-
like with it back, or was it just the strip?
just the strip tied around his head.
Like Olivia Newton-John, like all twisted.
No.
No.
Oh, what, like in the Let's Get Physical?
Yes.
No, it was just like it was like E Street Band. It was like Springsteen.
It's
It was like-
wide.
yeah.
To cover up some of the balding.
Yeah, presumably.
Mhm.
Presumably. But though I don't think he was. He looked like he had like a decent head of hair. So we got talking, and then he introduced me, and then his wife was there as well, Brody. And he just kept ordering shots and kept ordering drinks. And we were chatting all night, and he was like, "You do comedy? I take comics on the road with me." Like, and then he started talking about Sarah Silverman and people like this, and then we were drinking, and then I kind of blacked out, or not quite full blackout, not full fainting, but I don't remember a lot of what happened, apart from my friend, another comic who was on, getting upset because Jake Shears from the Scissor Sisters, who was there, was rude to him, and he got really upset about it. And I remember being really drunk and pinning him against the wall and saying, "Fuck the Scissor Sisters. What have they done for ages? They don't watch 8 out of 10 Cats," which is a TV show in the UK
Uh-huh.
that this other comic had appeared on. So like I was like, "Fuck the Scissor Sisters." And then I don't remember
English
how.
people get serious about the Scissor Sisters.
Scissor Sisters. Well, I just remember him being rude, and then I don't remember getting home, but I do remember getting into the bed and thinking I should eat. So like I collected all this food, like from the mini bar and stuff, and ate it in bed.
That cost a fortune.
Yeah. That was the least of my worries the next day because I thought I was going to die. So I woke up about 4 hours later with bread still in my mouth. Like some
I'll
kind
swallow
of...
this later.
Yeah. Like some kind of drunken duck or something.
That's like
I don't know.
how, what's her face died? Janet, the singer.
Oh, Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's a ham sandwich.
No, and
Mama
then
Cass.
Mama Cass died from a
Janis
ham
Joplin,
sandwich.
no.
Janis Joplin.
Did she?
Didn't she? I thought she choked or something too, or
That's the way rock stars die. They choke.
Yeah.
on
Well, I'm a
their
rock star.
vomit.
I think
Yeah.
I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
So then I woke
you're
up.
still alive.
I'm still alive. And then I got up and I'm still here. Does that make me less rock and roll?
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. All comedians want to be rock stars anyway.
True.
So I then started sort of throwing up like about once every 5 minutes. Like I've never been like that before. I couldn't stop. I felt like Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas. That's what it was like. And then they threw me out of the hotel and I had to get on the Eurostar. So I just sort of walked through the streets of Paris being sick on the corners of...
And that's English for throwing up.
yeah, chundering.
yeah.
Chundering?
Chundering, we say chundering. Yeah, chundering.
Cool.
Wow.
Spewing.
So that's your story.
Throwing up, yeah.
That's
So
your story.
Josh Homme nearly... That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Josh Homme nearly killed me.
Can I ask the most ignorant question of all
Yeah.
time? Who is Josh Holmes?
And I think it is Josh Homme or Hame.
Someone
somebody
got
commented
annoyed,
online,
right?
so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who is
Uh,
that? Who is that?
He's the lead singer of a band called Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
Yes.
fuck, dude!
Yeah.
Why
That's
didn't
right.
you say that up front? I was like, "Who's this Josh Holmes?"
Like I'm gonna catch on. It's gonna.
Yeah. So the lead singer of as
He's
the
a
important
big guy,
detail,
isn't he?
He's a big guy. Yeah, he's like.
And you were
6
like
foot something.
manhandling him? Or woman
No,
handling him?
no.
Friend.
No.
That was
no.
another comic, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. That was another comic I was manhandling. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That was another.
So he
person who
just
said-
happened to be there at the bar at
Yeah.
this gig you were doing at David Lynch's nightclub
Yeah.
called Silencio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like their music. I like their music,
Yeah.
Songs for the
Yeah.
Deaf and stuff. So we just ended up drinking. So it was just surreal. And I, like I say, he nearly killed me because I had to try and get on the Eurostar home,
Yeah.
and then they weren't going to let me on because I was.
Did
very
he ever
Tequila.
contact you after?
No,
Mescal.
no.
Like to say, "Oh, did you get home okay?" You were
No.
pretty fucked
No, it
up?
wasn't
he
like
couldn't
that.
give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a rock star.
Yeah.
He had no regrets. He didn't care.
Yeah.
Oh, and somebody
Well-
did tell us that mescal is agave cactus, if anybody was wondering.
Different,
yes.
different kind of.
Yeah, or whatever agave is. So
That's
Yeah.
what tequila's made from. I know
As well,
that.
yeah.
You know that, but you didn't know to bring a lady a glass when she got champagne.
I didn't know it was champagne.
Oh God!
It looks like a fancy drink.
Yeah, it does look very fancy.
Jessica's never
that's
seen
a-
champagne.
She just, yeah, she
never
has.
seen it.
Yeah, she has.
My 21st birthday, we went to a male review show and we won a raffle. We got a bottle of champagne.
Oh, I've never seen champagne, so guess I need to go to a male review show.
Anyway, that's two great stories. I like these stories of humiliation that are the theme here.
There's
That's going on.
celebrities in mine.
But that's to walk around a big city hungover, waiting to get on a flight or a train is just the worst feeling ever. So I have a lot of empathy for your story if it's true. Do we
Did you
have any
throw
questions?
up on you?
No.
It's Melody
Not that I
Martinez.
can, not that I,
annoyed
we've got
with
questions. Yeah, okay.
Melody Martinez is very involved as of late, and he or she's favorite thing to do is to give people little nicknames. Like we had Walmart Zach Galifianakis
yeah.
last weekend. At first, I hated it and I was very pissed off, but now it's kind of like
Yeah.
adoring.
It's endearing. It's
It's endearing, right. So Melody Martinez says British Lisa Kudrow is tough to read, but leaning towards this story being true. Said
I
incredibly
will take
calm.
Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah,
not bad, right?
that's a
Any
nice
day of the week,
compliment
yeah.
for sure. For sure.
But said incredibly calm and measured, so we'll definitely need to hear both stories.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
She
That's-
didn't make very much eye contact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But maybe I
Oh,
should
this
have
is like
saved that.
poker, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it's a game.
I didn't realize how seriously everyone was going to take this. Okay. Oh, okay.
So let's move on to our second stories. And Michael, what do you have for a second story?
Okay. This involves a dick pic as well.
Oh.
But you said that
He
was
was
your one and
disappointed.
only. So it's not yours.
No, it's a dick sent to me.
Now this sounds more plausible.
I'm not going to ask why. But, okay, so I was doing a show in New York City for TBS, and it was these 4 women who had come from Canada to make it in the big city of New York. And so they were answering Craigslist ads. I don't know if you know what Craigslist is, but
Yes.
okay, got
it's
it.
one of my favorite lists.
Is it called Nigel's List over there?
Nigel's List.
It's my favorite after Bucket.
Yeah.
Second favorite list.
Okay.
Or Schindler's.
So
Too
were
many
these
Jews.
so were these women trying to be comedians or actresses or
Good
business?
question.
Business?
Nobody knows. They weren't. I don't know if I can say this. They weren't super funny. They were not comedians for sure. And they had a YouTube channel in Canada. I don't know. I guess they have YouTube in Canada. And so they were not super funny, and they were, but they got a pilot and they got a series,
Oh,
et
good
cetera.
for them.
But they
Good for
thought
good
they
for
were
them.
comics.
Yeah, I think they knew they didn't do stand up,
Okay.
but and they thought they were funny.
Sometimes people don't.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to be
That's
polite.
when you were supposed to give Jessica eye contact.
Well, if
So-
I'm delusional, I'm going to live in it.
So the point of the show was that they would do these Craigslist ads, and they were always they weren't having sex, but they were sexual, or there would be some kind of kink a person who had a kink. So not to judge, it's just a kink.
Kink shaming.
Really. But we weren't shaming, we were just laughing at them. So anyway, it's just like one guy liked to dress like a baby, and he wanted somebody to hang out with and do that, and one guy was into balloons. He would blow up a balloon and that would turn him on. And then one guy was like transgender and wanted to do like makeup tutorials with somebody. And so I would have to look at the talent, review the talent. We had a good casting department.
Talent being the people that
humans.
had the kink.
Yeah, the people who have the
Okay.
kink. I guess. Yeah, that's their talent.
I like balloons.
Yeah,
That's my talent.
it's a real thing. People get turned on by that.
That was on a King of the Hill episode.
Was it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, where the person liked to sit on balloons.
I want to pop them.
Yeah, he got off on that.
What?
Wow.
Just like
That
jumping
turned him
on
on.
it.
Just
That was
a
on a-
snap of a piece of rubber against his taint or something.
It's
Like
something
Don't knock
that's
until you
what
try
that-
it.
Not that I've tried it.
Oh, so can
The
I?
night's still young.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Someone tried to buy a pair of shoes off me once and asked if they were grubby. Do they have grubby footbeds? So that's a kink that people have.
Russell
yeah.
Peters.
Do you still got that guy's
feet.
number?
Russell
Used to
Peters
go
loves
there,
feet?
yeah.
Yes.
Are you allowed to be saying this out in the wild like that?
Yeah, You've outed him.
Let's reassess. And by the way, things told here on this podcast should not be a reflection of the comedy.
I
Center.
don't think we've done that in like 3 weeks.
know,
So
it's
the
been a
last 3
while.
shows, everything has been a reflection of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So this one, I was looking up this transgender person, and it was like, oh, this looks promising. And so I do a lot of research, and I know Melody's going to think I'm a weirdo because I do research, but I wanted to make sure they didn't murder somebody in their background or were like violently against Trump or something, or violently for him. I don't know. It's just, you got to watch out, because like if somebody has something in their past that's wrong in any way, you're in trouble, right? So I would like look them up, and I went on Facebook, and Facebook's good for like doing a little research. So I would look them up on Facebook, and this one guy was there, and I'm sorry, not a guy. It was a transgender. It was a woman, a womanish.
Right.
So I was like, I don't. It was a person who transitioning to woman.
Right. So you
Okay.
can say lady. It was
A lady. She was
Yeah,
a lady.
yeah.
Okay, so I used the she pronoun. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was looking her up and checking her out, and I like friended her, and then just was looking more at stuff, and then suddenly she DMs me, and I was like, oh, hello, and so she started talking to me and saying, hey, what are you up to, and da-da-da, and I said, oh, I'm actually casting this thing, and da-da-da, and I wanted to check out your site, and I said, you look very feminine. I thought that was a compliment.
She's probably used to the casting couch, like people hitting her up. Like,
I've
"Oh,
never
I'm
done
just
the
doing a
casting couch.
movie," And
I've never done that. Why'd you laugh?
No, I'm saying-
I know.
yeah, I'm saying probably people have hit her up before, and they were like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
doing this."
Well, she had
I
applied,
know.
like
I have
she-
friends,
yeah.
and they get a lot of unsolicited dick
Right.
pics. Yeah.
Well, so this is what happened. So
Okay.
I ended up like chatting, and then I said, "You're very feminine." It's like you seem like you're for sure a woman. Like I would guess you are. And she's like, "Well, you can never be sure." And blah blah blah. Talk. And then she said, "I actually had some pictures taken that are kind of cool. Can I send you one?" I was like, "Well, I don't know." And then boom, she sent me one, and it was like her look. It was actually like black and white and artistic, and she looked really good. But you could see her. Her dick. You could see her dick, and
Right.
yeah, so it was like I got a dick pic, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, well, thanks." And then I was like, "Shit, I better save this and like be official." Well, I know my first reaction, am I gonna lose my job because of this? I'm accepting a dick pic. I better save it and
Document it.
Document it.
Yeah.
So I save
You
it.
might want to use that word.
It said save. Document it.
Do you have a folder on your laptop then? Just
Well, this is where the story.
unsolicited DPs,
DP.
dick pics, unsolicited. DPs.
Oh, I thought it means
Deep
double penetration.
penetration.
Oh yeah.
Really?
That's
Okay.
it. Why did I look at
you-
it, Felicia?
Because
Sorry.
UDP.
I was
UDP.
thinking director of photography, but
Yeah,
whatever,
so-
my Gladys, whatever.
It is director of photography, but I think it is double
Or dog
penetration.
park.
That should
Or
be
dog park.
that should be what you call your penis.
DP.
Well, director of photography.
My penis doesn't take the pictures.
It's got just one lens. Anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
Continue, Michael.
Anyway, so I got this pic, save it, okay, whatever, and then wrote up a little thing about what was going on, and then the next morning I get a text from my ex-wife, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on in New York?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"What do you mean, what's going on in New York? I'm working. This is what's going on in New York, And she goes, "That's not what it looks like." And I go, "What are you saying?" And she goes, "James, who you gave your iPad to recently, just found a picture of a person, a woman with a dick."
It was James.
This-
My 11-year-old. He was back then. He was like, this was like 3 years ago. So he was. I didn't know there was gonna be math here. 8.
9, 8.
8. So he was 8. And so I was like, "Oh shit!" So he saw this crazy picture, and he's probably thinking Dad's into weird stuff, and he's probably confused by like why a woman has a dick and all that stuff. And so I go, "Well, let me get him on the phone." So I called him and said, "James, if you have any questions."
Did he have his own cell phone? You were on the phone with your
No,
ex-wife.
with his mom. The mom has a cell phone. He did not have a cell phone at the time. He just got a cell phone. Yeah.
So how did he get onto your Facebook? Through your computer? Through a
So he had my okay, good question. So he had my old it was a iPad, and I had Dropbox, and I was like double backing things up. So what happens is when I saved it
To his DPIC folder.
yeah, no, I didn't save it to any folder. It automatically saves to my iCloud, which automatically saves to my Dropbox, and he doesn't have my iCloud. He just has my Dropbox. So he had looked into the Dropbox. And so
What I'm worried about is like you were on the phone with your ex-wife. She tells you, "Hey, your son just saw this.
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing?" Right? And then you're like, "Wait a minute, let me hang up and call him."
no, let me talk to him.
Oh.
Yeah. No, she texts me. She texts me all this shit. And then I say, "Let me talk to him," because I'm not going to text this.
Well,
Jesus,
see,
Jessica.
I need to know these things.
Melody thinks that
Melody
is the
again?
most honest statement in history because he started it by saying that he had to save this DPIC and that nobody would say that unless it was truly honest.
Wow.
Melody thinks I'm a Republican.
Well, that's true. But Hostetter says that you're lying by the seat of your
Steve
pants. Oh, he's
Hostetter?
flying by the seat
No,
of
no,
your
it's
pants.
another guy. Another guy.
Oh, another guy? Flying by the seat of my pants?
Yeah, coming up with a story on the fly, I guess. That's what
Why?
it is. It's just what
Listen,
the audience says, man. I just relay the information. Don't
They're
shoot
not
the
on the
messenger.
hot seat. You are my friend.
Okay, fair enough. So I tell James, this is the deal. This is what, gay
This
people.
is Daddy's work.
Yeah, well, there's two things to explain. Like, I have to explain why the woman has a penis, which isn't as complicated. It's like,
Did you offer this information up right away, or did you just let him ask questions?
No, I don't. I just started rambling. Like, okay, James. No, here's the thing. Like, I'm doing a job. I'm trying to make a comedy, and there's people who have dicks, and then sometimes they're not males, and that.
You probably made it way more complicated
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
8-year-old than he was even
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Is he in therapy now?
Not yet. He's only 11. He will be. Yeah, but so I had to explain to him why that's funny, and I had to explain
Right.
to him why everything. and
Do you
it was
Did you
so
say
bad,
it
so
should have
bad.
been in the Valencia filter because it's much more flattering? Why?
It was actually a nice picture, though.
Do you?
I mean, I'm not I liked it, but it was
Prove it.
a well. I don't have it,
So.
and I couldn't show it to you anyway because that would be cheating.
That would
yeah,
verify.
that would be
Yeah.
cheating. Did you get in trouble at work or anything
No,
else
no,
came
I
of
never-
that? No.
I never
And did
got
this
into it.
person get hired onto the show as one?
We kept the bit. We didn't do the bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
'Cause it was like,
and
you know,
have you talked
transgender.
to your son since then?
No, I've never talked to my son. What do you mean? Yes, I've talked to my
No,
son.
since then about the incident.
No.
No, he never brought it up. Like, remember that time, Dad? He never did that yet, or
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't really want to talk about that stuff. But I
Yeah.
did have another gay conversation because
Yeah.
he said we were driving along and he saw somebody with like colored hair and he goes, "Dad, that's pretty gay." And I'm like, "Hold on." I pulled over. I'm like, "We talked about this. Like gay, you don't know what gay is and you're do you have any girlfriends? Are you attracted to women?" "No." "Well, you might be gay. Like you shouldn't be saying
Pulled
that."
over to have the conversation.
oh man, is he
This
gonna need
is
some
like-
therapy? Jesus Christ!
Wait, this is wrong? I thought I was a pretty good dad at that moment, having a
You're on to
conversation.
something.
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
you pulled over to have this conversation.
Yeah.
with
Yes.
But then you'll just be
No.
No, this is a
she's
separate
she's
conversation.
This is a separate
No,
conversation.
No,
I
this was
get it.
time
I get
later.
it, but you're in the car with him.
Yes.
So why did you need to pull over? Why couldn't you talk to him while you were driving? Was it you
No,
were
it
taking
was
it that serious?
Yeah,
You needed
it was
to pull over.
Yeah, I wanted
Where
to
were you
like,
going?
It was somewhere in the valley.
Oh, okay.
So he took this one so seriously that
I
he
had to pull over and say, "Let's talk about
in
it." Well, because I don't want him to be a homophobe.
As a
But-
parent, I'll say I'll vouch for that kind of
Okay,
behavior.
but when
yeah.
when the picture
Uh-huh.
came up, he was fine with just telling him on the telephone. It's
Well,
like-
I was in New
so
York.
you don't
yeah,
I
it was a
can't-
different incident. Yeah, he goes to he
can't
travels
pull
out of
over.
yeah,
town
we
a
know they're
lot.
different incidents,
Okay,
but we're talking
yeah.
about the level of response.
Right.
The
right.
level
How
of
would I
response.
have pulled over? I'm like,
I know,
I'm
but-
on I'm in New York. He's in LA.
What's he supposed to do? Fly
Yeah,
back
and then pull
pick up
over.
James,
And then
then pull over and go look.
Yeah, look, we have to talk seriously. I got on the phone. I wasn't texting him. That was
Yeah.
that was serious.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagined
Right.
that you would have carried on driving, having the conversation. So I was just
Right.
intrigued that you pulled over.
Yeah, no, that's what you do. Because I've had to pull over with my kids.
Have
saying-
you?
Yeah. One time, my younger son at the time, he was like 3, and my other son was like 5, and he was being mean. My 3-year-old was being mean to my 5-year-old, and I was like, hey, the regular normal mom stuff. You stop that. And then my son, my 3-year-old, goes, yeah, well, you're old.
Oh.
Whoa!
I pulled that car right the
Oh,
fuck
there you
over.
go. That's very believable.
That I'm old. Is that what you're saying? No.
No, I'm saying like
no,
that's
no.
fighting words.
Well, that's a really good story. Do we have any questions from the?
Apparently, people are angry about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of split right down the middle. I mean, it
Okay.
seems like some people think he's lying, some people think he's telling the truth.
Who
But
thinks
again,
he's lying?
well, Hostetter think he's lying because he thinks he's flying by the seat of his pants telling the story.
Okay, all right.
But
all
Melody
right.
said this is Republican history 101. Definitely has a deep shoulder. Definitely explained his kid about gayness in that way. Like, this is totally true. Everything.
Wow.
I didn't say it was a sin and that you're going to hell.
Oh, you're not from the South, but
Huh.
I'm from Chicago.
Interesting. I'm thinking about your two stories together as a whole, and to think about which one is a lie. I think it's kind of tricky, though.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 dick pics.
Yeah.
the
Interesting.
tale of 2 dick pics.
There's a reason for that. though.
It was the best of times. It was the
All right. Well, let's move on to your second story, Tiffany.
Okay, this is a story about something I'm not proud of that I did for £500.
And how much is
Ooh,
500
so-
pounds?
About
Probably
1,000?
Oh no! Like the pound is so low at the moment.
Oh.
You're crazy. No, it's probably about £700 at the moment in your maybe $650 even.
So 500
$650.
pounds would be like $650.
Yeah,
Okay.
about that. Yeah. So it was before I did stand-up comedy.
Don't
and-
forget, I played a skinhead on Court TV for $50.
Oh really? Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, did you have a skinhead?
It was like this, basically.
Yeah. When you say played a skinhead, do you mean like?
Well, everybody thinks Court TV is real, though. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
everybody thinks
Wait,
it's really
it's
me,
not.
but it's not. No, it's
Right,
not me.
Ah,
It's
okay.
a different name, all
Oh,
that.
right,
but
right,
if you're
right.
not paying attention,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying reality TV is not real? Is what I'm hearing.
A lot of it.
What's going on in the
What about
White House?
wrestling?
Very.
What's going on there?
I want to hear everyone's tales of what they did when they needed some money. So yeah, it was before I was just like a struggling actress, and it was before I did stand up, and I was sharing a flat, and a friend of mine was seeing like a famous DJ in the UK. Had been seeing him for a little while, and
Your friend, not you. Your friend.
yeah,
Dating-
my
okay,
friend,
dating
my
them.
friend, yeah, she's a model, and she thought that he was cheating on her. So the DJ is a guy called Fatboy Slim. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
She brings charts now. You're like, Josh,
Okay,
tell
good.
me.
Okay.
She's got a lot of celebrities.
Okay,
in her
right.
shows.
So basically, she, oh God, she thought he was cheating on her. So she offered me like £500 to go to this club called China White in London and see if I could like chat him up and try and get him to crack onto me. And then
Crack. What is it?
Like-
Crack on means.
Figure it out, Michael.
All right.
to like try and
Yeah.
I don't know. We would say smooch. We
Shag.
would say shag. Yeah. Basically,
Pull
right?
the bird.
Pull the berg.
Keep going, Tiffany, please. Ignore it. Keep going.
So basically, and then what happened was I went to China White's, and they used to do this night on a Wednesday. So I went down to the club, and basically I couldn't get into the VIP area.
Oh, I was just going to say that.
I couldn't get into the VIP area, which he was in. So I told my friend that I did try and talk to him. I didn't tell him I couldn't get in, that I did try and talk to him, and he was
It's
the
not a lie.
perfect gentleman, and it was all great. And I just took the £500, which would have been fine, but then like a month later, like she found out that he was cheating on her. So I still like held up the end of like, well, not with me. But then also I even like built up this whole like, it's really embarrassing. I'm like, I'm not good looking enough for him to crack onto. Like that reflects badly on me. He didn't think I was hot, but really I was suffering from low self-esteem because I couldn't get into the VIP area of the nightclub. So
Wow.
And
And are you
need me to
guys?
spy on anybody for you?
Sadly, no. But I wish I had someone you could spy on.
So let me ask you this: are you still friendly with this lady?
not really. We
Yeah.
sort of lost contact. Yeah.
And how
it was in
long
my
did they
20s.
date for?
It was like 2 years maybe.
Oh, they dated for 2
Yeah,
years. Yeah.
But like,
Wow.
I think they were like seeing each other on and off for like a year before it became official.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you call it that here? Seeing each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Dating.
Going
You guys
steady.
call it dating. Going steady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they were going steady, they were just like shagging about.
Yeah.
But she's hot as well. So
Melody says there's a lot of leg scratching during the story. Highly suspect to have a
Oh,
tick
really?
like that.
Well,
Melody said.
The first story, you kind of took a long time to get around to the first story, like the whole story. And this story is pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. So then the question is, like, you're obviously lying because it's the game, but what kind of liar are you? Are you a liar that gives
Detailed
a lot
liar.
of details, or are you a liar that just fluffs it off and move along?
Gets there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm very
yeah, I am
curious.
scratching my leg because I do think I've been bitten by a mosquito since we've been in here. So
Mm.
Really?
I just
Oh,
want to say
like
you've got
it.
Addis mosquitoes. You had them last time I was here.
Yeah.
And they're new ones, and they breed in like a thimble full of
Yeah, those are called fleas.
water.
Anyway. So
Yeah.
that's a good second story.
Yeah, it was good.
Should we?
Yeah. So your friend
hmm
wanted you to use your assets.
My assets. Yeah, they
Would
weren't.
you
as-
like to point out her assets again? For
They
the
weren't-
listeners at home?
She didn't say get them out and swing them around.
Yeah.
Hostedder said that this is some sitcom type intrigue, and we do know that Tiff is a writer. So
Good point.
Kind of, yeah.
Sitcom type intrigue.
Yeah, I get that.
that's a direct quote too. I didn't even add
Okay,
anything to
yeah,
that.
I like that. I would like that for my CV.
I'm very
What is
curious
your
about
Describe
this.
like your resume,
Oh, okay.
What is it? CV?
I think that's
curriculum
a Honda
vitae.
here.
It's
Yeah,
Latin.
that's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? So they don't have sitcoms in England? What do they call them?
Yeah,
We
they got
do.
the Mrs. Brown's Boys and stuff.
Oh,
That's
yeah, they do.
sitcom.
Yeah.
that's like their Medea, pretty much.
Oh,
Oh, right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
yes. Yeah, we call them sitcoms.
why don't we go back to Michael's story? Since unless you have any more questions, Do you have any more questions? for
Isn't
Tiff?
this the interrogation part or something?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
So you
gotta-
don't think that I've properly interrogated you?
Well,
I'm
sure
fine
she'll
with
have
your
some
level of
questions after this.
interrogation. I'm okay.
So why don't we have Michael? I'm sorry, Austin.
Whoever.
No, Austin. Sorry about that. Tell Michael's story. Tell the
Sure.
two stories very quickly, please.
All right, so story one, he was dating a girl who wanted a photo of his wiener. One morning, he was getting up and thought his piece was
God damn
looking
it,
kind of
Austin,
nice.
You're a man now. I don't want to hear the word wiener on this
Yeah,
fucking
that's
podcast
embarrassing.
again. Okay.
Penis.
Okay.
One morning, he was getting up and thought his piece was looking
That's
kind of
not that
nice,
good.
so he decided to send a pic,
Better.
but send it to an old GF, if I got that correct, right? Was that an accidental GF that you sent it to or something?
No, it was.
No,
his,
send it to the new girl
I sent it to the new girl, but
that I just had one date with.
that you just had one date with.
Yeah.
But then another girl saw the D pic.
No.
No, he
No,
was
you're
sending it to
lost.
friends with
That was really, there was a whole lot of D pic
He
going
had
on.
a fuck buddy,
I know.
right?
Right.
And then, but he was also dating on
Well,
the
just one
side of
date.
the fuck buddy, and he went on one date
This-
with a lovely lady, and he meant to send his fuck buddy.
The dick pic and send it to the
Yes.
lovely lady.
No, to the fuck buddy.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wanted to send the picture to the
You
fuck
got it
buddy.
right
But
Okay,
accidentally
okay.
sent it to the lovely
Yeah,
lady.
okay.
Okay, so yeah, I was a little
Felicia,
misworded.
that
The
description
fuck
sounded
buddy's
kind of
connected to
judgy.
the dick pic. The dick
It
pic's
was the
connected to
judgiest synopsis I've ever heard.
Well, he also, after
Because I
that,
want him to say "fuck buddy" is what
Ah,
I
sorry.
want.
well, he was meeting with American BBC when he realized that the girl he accidentally sent the pic to works there. And, of course, they lock eyes. He's profusely sweating all over the place. He blows the meeting, and a stranger runs up to him with an envelope and serves him with a pic of his ween in the envelope.
Oh, don't say ween.
Wayne is a little bit better.
So,
Wait, what was that meeting for? What kind of show
To
was it?
run a show for the babe, it was a big job.
it was about transgendered wieners. They were gonna,
Can you tell us like what the show was about or anything?
I
like
didn't
that?
get it. I'll tell you that.
That's all you
That's
can
all
say?
I can say. Yeah.
Okay.
in story two, he was sent a dick pic while he was working on a TBS show in New York. These super unfunny Canadian girls got a pilot.
No, don't say
And he was-
that.
We
Don't
don't
say
say
that.
that.
They're
Yeah,
just
I was being
they,
sarcastic.
okay.
They're not
Yeah.
Canadians. They're not stand-up.
If they're funny,
Yeah.
they understand the humor, I guess, right? And he was working on it, so he was Googling a transgender person for it. Found
I
one.
wasn't Googling.
You Googled a transgender person.
No, it
you
was
said.
on Facebook.
You researched
Or
them.
I was researched, but it wasn't
Facebook,
just
Google, it's all
Googling
the-
people.
It's a term these days, you know.
It's what the
Basically
kids say.
same
It's a
thing.
verb, yeah.
You searched.
Jesus, Austin, pull it together.
Nitpicky. So he found he found a transgender woman and he starts DMing with her. He compliments her feminineness, and as a result, she sent him a DP to add to his collection. And the next day, his ex hits him up and says that his son found the lady's D pic on his old. I wrote D pic, but I meant computer.
Uh-huh. All
On
right.
that iPad, but yeah.
Do you have any questions for Michael, Tiff?
I don't know. I feel like the returning of the envelope with the picture of the dick in it just
I want
feels
that
too
to be true.
satisfying.
I know.
It feels too satisfying to be true.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
it
know if I
feel-
would have done that. Would you have done that? You
I
think?
don't know. It's in the work. I like the idea of it's kind of taking the power back,
Right.
but it was the bit of the story that made me go, oh, maybe that hasn't happened.
Do you think when she sent that up there right before, she was like, "Everybody watch this"?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
also-
who knows how many
Yeah.
people
Also,
saw
someone
my...
had to deliver
dick.
it to you, so that a guy delivered it to
Well, it
you.
was in a sealed envelope.
Right. Sealed on.
Why are you laughing at the sealed envelope?
What was it sealed with? Anyway,
I don't
probably
wanna
not to
know.
ask.
Who uses envelopes anymore?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how would she? If she'd have to print it off
Yep.
and then photocopy. Yeah. I just.
She
That
would.
means
Well,
she
you could just
saved it
take it
too,
from
then.
your phone and print it in a printer.
Yeah, but that's in her work, and it might just look like she's just
that's
printing
true.
dick
I
left, right, and
agree.
centre.
That might be true.
Risky. Like she's not
Yeah.
going to go. This is for a really nice piece of comeuppance, by the way.
Right.
Melody
Yeah.
thinks that one's the lie, and Melody's pretty good, according to the last couple of games. So
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
going with
because she
Melody.
would have had to properly document why she was printing a dick pic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like if
Like
anyone
Like
saw
sign up
her.
form.
Just
Well,
like you were
just shared
documenting
printer.
the
Shared
penis
printer.
of the transgender.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
a
like,
big risk to take in the workplace.
Louise, why are you
Yeah.
printing cock off at work? What are you doing? Save it till you get home. You
Take
know?
pictures of their butts on.
Office
this is-
parties, Christmas parties,
Yeah,
but not
that's
like
very
on the
good
reg.
point. Very
Touche.
good point.
Or
On the
tushy.
Tushy.
All right, so are we going to take a vote, or do you have any questions you would like to ask?
I think that's it. And also, I'm with you on how he handled the two different situations.
Yeah.
It just
An
doesn't
asshole.
seem. Yeah, and you kind of.
Yeah.
No, what?
You're an asshole.
I think that you. I don't think you would have. I think you would have listened to your son. I think, especially like you took that time to stop, pull over, and explain, hey, why you shouldn't say gay in that way.
Wait, did I say I didn't listen to him?
Well, you just said you just started going off and like explaining what it was and why. And
Well, no, I was asking him questions like, do you date women? Do you know that you're attracted to
no,
women?
I mean whenever the dick pic was when he saw that when you were talking to him on the
Oh,
phone.
yeah. I kind of went and just
Blurted
blah,
out
blah,
all
blah.
this
Verbal
information
diarrhea.
that the kid might have just been like, I saw a picture. Cheers, Daddy.
I got that much, but I didn't. I did more talking than I'm a man. I do more talking than listening.
Right.
All right, let's take a vote. Austin, what do you think?
I think he's lying. I'm going with Melody because Melody thinks that you're lying. So,
Well, which one am I lying about?
the first story.
First story's a lie.
I think the first story's a lie with a photocopy. Photocopy's a lie.
What about you?
I don't know when he's worked on shows like Impractical Jokers stuff like I could see them being down or anybody in that team, they would have got him back like that. This is hard. And I just have a problem with how he handled the dick pic in the story from New York.
What do you mean? What part of that?
Just the way he just tried to explain himself so quickly to his son instead
Well,
of...
I get that because sometimes you, as a parent, you just over-explain too much because you're in the moment of like, oh my God, this is when he can remember shit now. You know what I mean? And so you tend to over-explain and over-exaggerate and pontificate on everything.
So, what do you think, Felicia?
I think that Michael wouldn't share so much information about his family. And I'm going to say the second story is a lie.
God, she's just like staring holes in me right now.
See,
That's
you
it.
just
She's
reinforced it for me then. I'm going to say the first story is true. That reinforced it for me. If you
I know,
wouldn't-
but,
she's like
don't
got
go
those-
with me
that-
because you know I
those
mess
eyes.
up a lot.
No, but I was
All
already
right.
leaning toward that
Yeah.
because of how he says he handled it. That just seems odd. You seem like a caring guy that'd be like
Yeah.
Jessica's coming off 0-2, so she's really looking for a
Yeah.
victory on this one.
that. You would have been like, "So, son, did you have any questions?" Or and
Yeah.
you would have went in that direction versus, "This is what this cock was about."
Okay.
That's not Daddy's cock. That's
Yeah.
You just would have.
That was not my cock.
Okay.
You would've known
So what is the lie?
It's you and you're staring. You were right.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's not fair. I should wear sunglasses.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The first story was true.
Uh-huh.
The second story is a complete lie.
Oh.
I didn't get a dick pic from a transgender person.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. Say
All right.
quickly, Tiff's story quickly.
If I storm out of here in the middle of this, I'm about to pee my pants. So
no.
don't be afraid. She did a not so great show to an all French crowd when Josh
You're going to pee
Humme.
your pants with your
I
wiener?
might pee my pants with my little wiener. I'm about to whip it out and piss in my old vodka glass over here. So anyway, so Josh Humme tried to kill her. She drank 15 mezcal shots with him, and he was like shoving them down her throat in David Lynch's silent nightclub in Paris that smelled like poppers. She and another comic were talking crap about the Scissor Sisters. She left and ate a bunch of minibar food, then fell asleep, waking up 4 hours later with bread in her mouth. Then she chundered like Nick Cage and leaving Las Vegas all over the place, and that was pretty much it. Wild, raucous night of partying.
Okay.
Second story, she was struggling and sharing a flat with her model friend who thought she was being cheated on by her boyfriend. So she offered her 500 pounds to go to this China club and entrap him into hitting on her. And she goes to the club but was denied access to the VIP where he was. So she lied to her friend and said that he was a great guy, which turned out to be totally bullcrap.
Did you
Okay.
say you were living with her?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
flatmate.
you were roommates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to leave now?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Love you.
Okay. There you go.
So did
All
they?
right.
Did he ever come to the house? Did they ever bring their dates to the house at all?
No.
No.
No. But they'd
So
only
he
been
had
seeing
never
each
seen
other
you
about.
before.
He'd not seen.
By
me,
the way,
no.
that's the fastest I've ever seen Austin move. He picked up his phone and
like
it's like, it says,
Igor.
I have to piss so bad.
He took his phone. Maybe he has to poo.
Oh my God.
He's gonna answer questions while he's.
I should get on there now. Okay.
No,
so-
but we were all quite transient. There was a few of us in a flat. It was a model flat, so it wasn't just me and her.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
didn't meet him. No, he didn't come to the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you never. Oh.
Well, that wouldn't because it wouldn't have worked that way. I was trying to
Yeah.
catch her.
Yeah.
If he had been to the house and seen her before, it
And
wouldn't have
I'm
worked.
sorry if I'm asking you to repeat. How long did you guys live together? If that's what was your question.
Oh, how long did we live together?
Uh-huh.
So I was in my 20s, so it was about 2.5, maybe 3 years.
So you said
In
that
Camden. In
that
Camden,
the
we lived
first
together.
year that they dated, it was off and on, and he never came to you guys'
No,
apartment.
no.
Yeah.
She was just sort of seeing him and would
Yeah.
turn up at gigs and
Yeah.
stuff he was doing. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, because back in the day I used to know girls that would go out with really famous guys, but they would be at those guys' beck and calls. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be like the guy would come to the apartment. All that. So that's kind of suspicious. But then what gets me is that it was such a cut and dry story, and your first one was you were,
Really detailed.
yeah,
A
and give a
lot.
little, yeah. But maybe that's what she does. Maybe that's what you fucking
What did
do,
you wear
Tiff.
to the club? What did you wear to the club to try to entrap?
Oh, God. I don't remember. Oh, probably like low cut. Do you remember you used to cut the top off your jeans?
Uh-huh.
I wore those a lot during that time.
Cut the top
Like-
off your jeans.
Yeah, I used to cut the waistband off your jeans so they would sit real low on your hips and like
Yeah.
borderline pubes coming out. Like that
Yeah.
kind of.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Remember how like Britney would wear
Oh,
those
yeah.
at really
We're
low?
talking about now.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and an off the shoulder top, probably. Maybe something gypsy ish. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But it would be like that was what I would wear to go out clubbing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that second story is a lie. What do you think?
I'm gonna say it's true.
Why?
Some of it to go against you.
To be your own woman. I have a vote.
Yeah.
I do.
we-
Okay.
Oh, you're the tiebreaker.
Oh yeah. I think you have a tell. I think you cover your hands when you're lying, and you covered your hands on the second story.
So you think it's a lie?
I think the second story is a lie.
I'm
Yeah.
the only one that believes you. Unless, what do you think on her stories?
I think the second one's probably a lie because it was just too short.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
It was just so
Yeah.
like get this shit out of my face because I'm lying.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
I think it's true because you said she was a writer.
That
So then I think that she probably had fun with the first story and was like, I'm just gonna have fun with this shit and see where it goes.
Melody's the only one that's voted on this one, and Melody thinks that British Lisa Kudrow is telling the truth on the first one, and the second one is a lie.
Oh, it's
Right.
almost unanimous.
So which one is a lie?
The second one.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Damn it!
Two for
Does
two
it
for
tell.
two on that one. Wow. Wow. Well, thanks you guys for joining us and for coming and telling such fun and wonderful stories. We certainly appreciate that. And where can people follow you, or what do you guys have shaking or up on deck next?
Oh, I am. You can follow me on Twitter at Tiff Stevenson and Instagram as well. I have a show at the Hyperion on the 1st of July.
Wonderful.
I'm doing a preview of my new Edinburgh show called Mother.
Oh.
There's a poster and it's me pregnant with myself. So if that kind of thing amuses you, if
That's awesome.
that kind of weird like pregnancy inception is funny to you, then go. No, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll
Well-
be fun. It should be in a good place by the time. Well, I've been working it up for a few months, so yeah.
And how many times have you been to Edinburgh?
This will be. I was actually there 2017, so that bio's a bit out of date. But yes, I've been. This will be my 10th hour-long show.
Wow. And for you guys that don't know, it's
Wow.
one of the biggest festivals of comedy and storytelling and one-man shows in the world. And it's always been my fantasy to go to Edinburgh. And so congratulations on that. That's such
thanks.
a cool thing.
Yes.
And have fun with your show.
Yeah. Oh, I have a podcast. Am I allowed to advertise a podcast
Please.
on a podcast?
Yes, of
Yes.
course you can.
So I have one that's just come out with Lush, the bath bomb and soap
Uh-huh.
company.
Oh yeah.
I was just in one of those. I mean,
Really?
In a bath.
In a
bomb.
bath.
no.
In a Lush.
I
And it's all about comedy as a force for social change. Because there's a lot of talk about how comedy can be negative, and this is all about do we think comedy can change anything? Are we preaching to the converted? And it's about ideas and philosophies
Yeah.
and beliefs that people hold, and how
Wonderful.
that shapes their work. So
You know what's very fascinating to me is that there's another festival called the Just for Laughs in Montreal. Canada.
I've
And,
done it once.
Yeah,
once.
it's also a huge festival, an amazing festival, and so I do a lot of photography on that festival, and for what's called the Comedy Pro events, and in the Comedy Pro events they have a lot of panel shows, and they have a panel show with international comedians, and it was such an interesting panel show to watch because you start to have an understanding that comedians outside the United States, their shows are a little bit more heavier or with a point, or they have a theme. And it's always very fascinating to me that people can keep comedy in such a compact like one note in the sense of the theme
Yeah.
situation. And I think that's fascinating about comedy and about British comedy and comedy around the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we do it slightly differently, but I love stuff that comes out of here because it's different to what we have and stuff. There's quite a lot of crossover now. Like if people like Mike Birbiglia kind of do shows like we do at the Edinburgh Fringe of like a storytelling
Yes.
narrative, or there's a big theme, or there's an idea, or in fact that the David Lynch story, the Josh Homme story,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that was actually from a show which was all about how we respond, because it was 5 weeks before the Bataclan happened that this whole night
right.
happened, and it was all about how we make big international like events about ourselves. So I was like questioning why we do that. Why do we feel the need to make it? Oh, I was just in Paris like weeks before that happened.
Right.
Happened again with Sacré-Cœur. So it was kind of an exploration of that. I did it by making it all about me for an hour, doing stand-up about it. But yeah, it was exploring how we
Right.
attach ourselves to tragedies or situations in order to understand ourselves better, which makes it sound not funny, but it was.
No,
It
no,
did-
no.
yeah, I liked
And
it.
by the way, during these panel shows, like some of the funniest people on the planet, and just extra kudos for people that can roll it together in a theme. And so good for you that you're going to Edinburgh for now your 10th or 11th time, I believe you said.
Yeah, I
Nice.
might make some money this year. No, I will.
Okay. Anyway, and what about you, Michael? What do you have up on deck?
I have a bunch of commercials I did, and so those are going to come out, and I'm going to put them on my site, and that's about it. I don't have a show right now.
Yeah.
Just commercials.
Do you want to
Okay.
make one?
Hey, real quick,
Yeah,
it's
I
funny.
do.
Funny you say that. Actually,
I do.
I made the mistake of asking the audience if they have any final comments for our
Uh-huh.
comedians to let us know. So of course, Melody Martinez has something. Said you two should write and star in a sitcom together. Call it Across the Pond, about drunken dick pics and political correct gender profiling.
There you go. There
Like
you go.
Catastrophe, but without the
Yeah.
shagging and,
Yeah.
and baking babies.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember
thank
the
you.
day where I was that day that dick pic was sent.
Well, thanks again again for coming by and sharing your stories. I've been Felicia Michaels. You can follow me all across the board at Felicia Michaels. Please do me a favor. If you're an Amazon Prime member, go to Amazon and watch Pervs and leave a review.
Oh, it's
Pervs is a
It's really
documentary
good.
that I made about a sex worker and stand-up comedy. So
Oh, I'd
please
like
do
to
that.
see that. I
Yes,
wanna go
please
watch
do.
that.
Yeah, thank you. And I would love you to do it and to leave a review. And Jessica?
Hey, follow me at Jess Wellington 2 on everything. Glad to be back, and you've been lied to.
Oh, I forgot to bring you up, Austin.
Oh, fuck me, right?
Yeah. At Austin Lane Walker, right? Is your
The
Twitter-
Austin Walker, whichever.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
whatever.
Okay. Always
Only
mad
the
at
brand
me.
I've been doing for
Toby,
the last
what else
7
you
years.
call you? Oi.
Okay, that was fun.